when we share, they won't be able to see us. They'll just be able to hear us. Now, we can still do that if we want, the little thing, but it's just easier to do it full screen. And we can also record this. Yeah, want to. Just record this thing on everything, all parts of it will be recorded.
Also, we cut.
Yeah, yeah. It records it as a URL that way you can share it when you want to show it to. Or if we part of it, we use this when there's lots of conversation and some I miss some things. Or if there's something we can't well, anyway, record it. They can see that we're recording as well. But,
I feel like it's a movie theater so big, right? Is that like yours is that big?
no, I use mine because I've done, so I actually do Zoom call today with people in New York, but it's really great. I'm going to probably be in the library, but we actually do a Zoom communication of master's students. It's just easier and it's not till January because the University of Ottawa spring semester and it's about 40 application with questions. So this is a great way to sort of communicate because we have the capacity to do this. We post it, we can have 50 different people. So she's the host there, so it and really works well. So it's an easy. So you can share if you're working with somebody somewhere else. They can do this Zoom call. I'm going to share a document with some people because we're working on this together. But you can actually do this. Put the word down, you can edit it, you can edit it, you can see it, and when it's done, don't put it in Zoom.
I haven't used it that. Usually when I've done one in a row, I did it with Skype. But I need to start using this.
All you do is function as a single Zoom link. And you see the internet connection. So you can do it in the office, you can do it in there, you can do it on your phone. It's just you and I. That's the big one, Chuck.
But I believe that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Or you just delete that and start it over.
You know, I don't. I think it's just pause. Yes, you can. I mean, you can edit stuff. I guess. Yeah. Now we can feature the part with the
Yes, and then we will decide yesterday cupcakes. It was a full day of food. So it was bad. It's I'll tell you, this last couple of weeks I've ate so much for free to begin with. And I don't know. I had wanted me lunch, like I paid free. Thanks to your side.
Thank you, USI.
Yeah.
I used to work before USI. I worked in hospitals. I used to do a lot of work with physicians, so they always want to meet in the theater lounge. There's always free food. And I was young, so I didn't care. Like 3 donuts every morning. This taco bar at lunch.
Every day.
Oh, because I wondered how come my pants don't fit me anymore. My shirt is too tight. Eating all this free food. And I guess that's stuff.
Lunch today here for recruitment. And then some people because everybody brings something here about cookies from Donut Bank. And everybody just brings something.
Yeah. All those are kids.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a modern day shirt?
He's in Hollywood Gamer, but he's gonna go to modern games.
You have a kid who's going to high school.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago. He's taller than me now.
Yeah. So it goes to Hollywood Gamer, and your daughter is how old?
She's 7.
She goes to Hollywood.
Yeah. When I went to the house of high school orientation, I'm like, what's happening?
This is like real. That's great. So quick.
How was your son doing in college?
He's just finishing today his last exam for his year. First year engineering, so he's got a chemistry exam, then he's coming home tomorrow.
I'm sure you can wait.
Yeah. Interesting. He was ready to go a year ago, right? So it was, and he's pretty independent, but he was pretty overwhelmed. It's super serious. And I mean, he's a priest, but he doesn't really work hard. Well, now he did. But he had a daughter, so she works very hard. She is always working. And so she's going to be fine. We just got by herself last week, so she drives to school.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So she's 17, 16?
16, she goes to signature school. So she drives our big white minivan. All her friends are in front of her. It's wonderful.
So you only have 2?
We have young, I know when she's 11. So goes to programs. So where do you guys live, Gina?
Here on the west side.
Where do you guys live?
By Cuba Road, University of Ottawa. So there's a road like,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
so it's, we should go to Corpus Christi. That's where we should go. But because my husband graduated from Hollywood, he went to Hollywood on Monday. Traditions.
Okay, very generous.
Yeah, so it's like, no. He has to go there. All his friends now have kids there. And it's just like,
I understand. We didn't. I was from we was totally within us. To Corpus Christi. That's like the kids she ready? Oh, the chat. Oh. Oh, shoot. Okay. Okay. I think that's her though. Yeah. Should we start?
She has some words.
Okay, hold on. Liz, are we ready to go?
Absolutely. So whenever you're ready, feel free to start. Got 4 people in the center and 3 more online. So a little bit of people gathered around, and I'm sure there will be more we can share this information with.
Okay, sounds great. Great. So maybe we can start with an introduction. I'm Kevin Valadares. I'm a professor, a faculty member here at the University of Southern Indiana. And so I want to welcome everyone to this Zoom talk. It's 9:15 in the morning here, so we're drinking our coffee this morning, but we're all awake, and so I'll let Gina introduce herself.
Hi everyone, my name is Gina Videa. I'm the International Admissions Coordinator here. So whenever you decide to apply, if you decide to come to USI, I'm the one that evaluates your transcripts and make the admissions decisions. So.
Okay. Well, we thought what we do, if it's okay, is we wanted to just show you, talk a little bit about our university and the health professions area. And we have a short slideshow, which we'll just put up here, and then certainly be happy to answer all questions. I know that there's a chat going on as well, which is wonderful. So maybe we can start with a very short presentation, and you can see exactly what our university is like, and we'll talk a little bit about the health professions as well. Okay, so I'm going to hopefully be able to do this without messing anything up as well. And I hope it's the right one, right? Yeah, okay. I hope you can all see that. That's a picture of our university, and I think Gina's going to start.
Yes. Liz, can you see the presentation?
Yes, we can. If you'd like to start the slideshow, so because as of right now, we see all the the slides in the order.
Okay, great. There we go. Okay, you want to start, Gina?
Yes. So I'm just gonna show you a snapshot of the campus a little bit here. We have 4 colleges in our school. This is some of the pictures, as you can see there. We have a simulation lab and just a little bit of everything, the liberal arts, and some of the activities that the students do. The majors that we offer in the health professions are dental hygiene, health services with concentrations in health administration, public health, worksite health, gerontology, long-term care administration, a major in food and nutrition with a concentration in dietetics, food service management, health informatics and information management.
Yeah, that's the right one.
Nursing, respiratory therapy, radiologist emphasis with a concentration in clinical education, diagnostic, medical sonography, management, MRI, and CT. We have also 3 master's degree in health administration, nursing, OT, occupational therapy, and 1 doctoral degree. Now I'm gonna let Dr. Valadares speak a little bit about how to apply to the health profession programs.
Sounds good. Thanks, Gina. Just a little bit of background. I'm going to go back to this slide if that's okay. I actually I'm the chair of the master's degree in health administration. I've been here at the University of Southern Indiana. This is year number 18 for me. So, and we'll also talk about where the university is located, show you a little bit about that. Introduce you to Evansville, Indiana as well. But in terms of applying and attending our university, there's, especially in the health professions, which is the area that I obviously know the most about, there are two admission cycles. One is first, all students apply to the university, and it's a standard application where we require your high school grades and also the equivalent of what's our SAT or ACT scores, which is a standard entrance requirement for all American students as well. But also, and I'll let Gina just talk a little bit about the TOEFL exam as well. It is required. And so Gina, could you talk a little bit about that?
So the SATs or ACT, I just want to clarify, it's not required at USI if you're coming, but it's required in most universities in the United States.
Yeah.
But we don't require that. The TOEFL we do, it doesn't have to be the TOEFL, it can be the IELTS. I don't know what's the common exam in Ukraine for English proficiency, but we have like a list of 5 other tests that we require for admission. So it's mainly high school transcripts, and if your country has some kind of exam previously to attend college, will require the exam from Ukraine in this case, and the TOEFL score. Now we have the option to start with the intensive English program, and you can obtain a conditional admissions to the university if you do that way. So for example, if you come and study intensive English, we do a placement test. Depending where you place, you start there. We have 6 levels. And let's say that you place in level 3, you study 6 months because each level is 2 months. So 6 months. And then after you're done with the intensive English, you're automatically pass to the university, but just the university. This doesn't mean that you're going to go into the program.
And so I'll sort of say that in all of the health profession programs, there's also a second admissions process. So first you apply to the university, and then usually after 1 year of courses based on your grades, you have a second application, and that's when you would apply to the nursing program or the dental hygiene program or the radiology program. So, those programs then have, it's not a complicated admission, but they then take the applicants really simply based on their academic scores in the first year of the university. And so another thing we wanted to point out was obviously studying in the health professions in the United States is a little bit different than in European countries and other countries around the world. And so probably the most important thing to understand is all of the degrees that we spoke about earlier, the baccalaureate degrees, they're typically 4 years. It's a 4-year degree. And so the nursing degree, which by the way, our nursing program is the largest in health professions. We're also the top ranked nursing program in the entire state of Indiana for passing rates, and I'll talk a little bit about that. All of the health professions clinical programs, apart from completing a bachelor's degree, our students who attend, they also have to pass a separate licensure exam. So they become licensed in their field, in nursing or in radiology. And those license exams are administered by each state. So I think all of you know that we have 50 states in the United States, and every state has a different licensing exam. And so, but they're transferable, which means we have students who complete their degree at our university, they pass the Indiana exam, but then they might want to move to Florida because I've heard it's much warmer in Florida than it is in Indiana, which it is, by the way. It's probably much warmer in Florida than it is in the Ukraine as well. That was a joke, by the way. So they can certainly go. Some of you might be interested in becoming a doctor as well. in the United States, in order to become a physician, a doctor, you attend medical school, but you have to have a bachelor's degree already completed before you even start medical school. Unlike many other countries in the world where you can start medical school right away from high school, in the United States, you can't do that. You have to have a bachelor's degree. So we have a very large, what we call pre-med program. And these are students who are typically studying biology and chemistry, but some also in the health professions. They complete a bachelor's degree, and then it's a separate application. We do not, here at the University of Southern Indiana, have a medical school. We don't have one here. There are two medical schools in the state of Indiana. One is a public university, and the other is a private university. And we can certainly talk about that later. And that's the same thing if you're interested in other degrees. The one that comes to mind for me is physical therapy. You might know it as physiotherapy. You typically need a bachelor's degree before you pursue that degree because it's a higher level degree. And so that's just a little differences that every country is different, and certainly if you have any questions, be happy to ask. Please feel free to ask. We did want to sort of also share with you where we are. And so Indiana is, it's not exactly in the middle of the country, but we consider ourselves to be in the Midwest. We border a number of states, Illinois, Kentucky, Ohio, and Michigan above. And you can see over here, this is where our university is located. So that's why we're the University of Southern Indiana, because we're in the southern part of the state. It is what I would call, I like to say this, we're in what I call real America. Many of you, some of you might have traveled to the United States, and certainly you know quite a bit about it, I'm guessing. What you probably know, obviously, is what you see on the media, whether on Facebook or anywhere else. And you know the cities, New York, Orlando, where Disney World is, LA. My guess is you've maybe never heard, of Evansville, Indiana. But it really is, you get a real sense of the country and Americans as well, which is part of the experience. Evansville is the third largest city in the state of Indiana. But we also want to share a little bit about the campus as well. So,
and one of the things I love about our campus is like, went away. It's a very friendly and welcoming place, and I would say very safe too. We have public safety available 24/7. They have their offices here. Also, we have now we have 3 sheriffs on campus at all times. Is it 3?
Yeah.
So we have we are a public university. We're small. We have about 11,000 students, and our international students are like a family, because we don't have that many international students like other universities. They have thousands of international students. We actually only have.
Oh. I'll go back. Sorry about that, Liz.
We actually have about 200 international students, so they become very close, and they come and enrich our campus. We also have 140 organizations available. A student to faculty ratio is 18:1, so which means that for every 18 students, there is 1 professor. We don't have teachers' assistants. Every class that you take here at USA will be taught by a professor. And also we have I know whenever you come to the United States, you're already studying abroad, but if you want to continue going to other countries, we have a great study abroad program that will allow you to go through another destination, like for a summer break or something like that. So I don't know what did I miss on the previous slides that was on the presentation. Athletics, we have 17 sports. We are Division 2, NCAA Division 2. We have that's our rec. We have a 3-story gym, a climbing wall. We have a 1,400-acre campus, which is beautiful and green, and there's a ton of activities to do. That's our business building, our library.
So I think what you can see is it is potentially it's a very different atmosphere maybe from what universities may look like in the Ukraine and Europe. Many of our students live right on the campus, and so they're engaged in all of the activities that you see in front of you as well. In addition to obviously attending all their classes, our health profession students, of course, will not only attend classes, but also what we call clinical. We work very closely with a lot of the healthcare organizations in the community because as a health profession student, you're required to be in the clinical environment. And so I'm gonna stop sharing that. All right, good. So hopefully you can see us now. So we just wanted to introduce you a little bit to our campus and the health professions programs. I think at this point, if it's okay, be happy to see if anyone has any questions at all, for anything at all, and we'll be happy to answer them.
So we have several folks here in the room, as I've mentioned, and one of them is already enrolled in a university here in Ukraine. So he's wondering whether or not there are any options for those students that are studying here to have an educational experience with you guys.
Is he interested in transferring to the university or in doing like an exchange part of it, like coming just for one semester? Because he has the options to do both, I believe.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I think it would be really great if you could speak about both of those options, just in case there are other people that may be interested. So the student here is more interested in the exchange type of a thing, but generally speaking, I think it's a very interesting topic to learn both about the transfer opportunities and exchanges.
Okay, so the exchange part of it, I didn't do my homework really well and find out about what programs are available for exchange in Ukraine, but I definitely can share that with you. And if I can find out through Heidi, who's the one that is in charge of the exchange program, and I can definitely let him know. For transferability, definitely we can evaluate the transcripts from the university that he's studying. And if the university is accredited, we do the equivalent grades in the United States, and then the registrar's office give them credit or not for the classes that he already taken. What I've seen so far, like most of the students, especially if they attend a public university, most of their credits, about 90% of them, transfer to the U.S. to USI.
Yeah.
So.
And I might add one thing because. We do have, I've been fortunate to work with a number of exchange students. We have partnerships with universities in Germany mainly. And so students who'd like to come for maybe 4 months or 6 months, will do it through the exchange process. And so what would happen is they would come to the university. They would take what we call a semester of courses, but also live on campus, engage in all the activities that you saw in the picture as well. Sometimes that's an easier way to start, and because you're getting a sense of the culture and the environment as well, without committing to an entire degree. what we want to make sure is that if students come for an exchange, that everything they do here would also satisfy the degree requirements back at the home university as well. So there's lots of options, but I think what Gina said is, and we really would like exchange students because they're very involved in all aspects of the university, but Gina will be able to get you a little bit more information as well. But we have had lots of exchange students in the past. That's a good question. I think I see a question. Oh, this is a, maybe I'm going to answer live if that's okay. I don't know how to do this. This is a question from, I think, Andre, especially if you have, what are the opportunities for people who have their degrees, like a bachelor's degree in nursing? So again, I'll maybe say that similar, first of all, a bachelor's degree might, it depends on the degree, satisfy the requirements to continue on with a master's degree as well. So I'll just sort of speak from my program that I direct, which is the healthcare administration. That's the business side of healthcare. In our program, we've had a number of students who have, they all have, you have to have a bachelor's degree, but a number of students who have obtained that bachelor's degree from other universities, and we certainly welcome them in as well. They would be immersed in to our programs. We have a student in the program right now from Haiti as well, and he's actually graduating in this coming May, but they'll do everything. So there's lots of opportunities. It's also possible to perhaps do a exchange. So if a master's degree isn't necessarily something that you'd like to do, usually those are 4 months long. We have had students in the past who've also completed a thesis project as well, and those are about 4 to 6 months as long. Those are a little bit more focused. You would work with a faculty member, an instructor here on that, but it's very applied. I'm gonna, if it's okay, answer another question, which is, I'm a PhD medical student in Ukraine. I want to ask if there are some scientific programs I can attend. First of all, congratulations on all that you've accomplished in moving through a medical PhD program. There are the programs that probably would benefit students who are medical PhD type students. More so, it's more project oriented as opposed to completing another degree or courses. Many of our faculty members here, our professors, are engaged in, especially, and I'm talking about in the health professions, in research. And so those research projects are opportunities to work on a project as well. So I'll just give you an example. I'm actually working on a big project right now in my area. My area of research is having to do with end-of-life care, individuals who are at the end stages of life. And so I'm the investigator on a big project, and we have 2 students who are working with a team of us on that. It doesn't matter if the student, as long as they're interested and they're working on the project. One of them is completing a degree. The other one actually is very interested in just working on the project as well. So there are other research opportunities as well that can, and those are probably more connected to that question. So that's a good question as well. I think I'm talking too much. So
no, you're okay.
I'm okay?
Yes, yes.
I need to probably get another cup of coffee after this. So. All right, more questions, please.
Well, we don't seem to have any questions in the audience here as of right now. They all seem to be nodding and saying that there was a lot of very clear information to them. So
There's a lot of what?
A lot of good, clear information.
Wow.
But I think there was, yeah, and they're doing, yeah, that's just, there's also just a thank you message that came through the Q&A box for your previous answer.
Oh, yeah, yeah, great.
The off-topic question that just came up into the room was whether or not you guys have snow in Indiana already, because Steve is totally packed with snow.
Really? So this is a really interesting question. You saw the pictures of the campus and the community. We don't get a lot of snow here in Evansville at all. In fact, we tend to miss snow. It maybe snows twice a year here, and then it disappears very quickly. So if you're interested in escaping from the snow and cold of Ukraine, I would highly recommend Evansville, Indiana as a destination. So no, we don't have any snow. In fact, it's raining today.
Yes.
But yeah.
They actually haven't had a white Christmas in like 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years.
It's just
Yeah.
boring. No snow. And I love a white Christmas.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for elaborating on that. It really does sound appealing, especially once people will get out from this webinar outside. I'm sure they will get a deep desire to come somewhere where it's much warmer and nicer.
Yeah.
Does it, like, how cold does it get there? Like, what's the usual temperature?
Well, I guess it can, I mean, there's no such thing as a usual temperature, but it can get as cold in Ukraine as like negative 25 Celsius with no problems at all. So it's pretty cold, I'd say.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cold, yes. Congratulations. Yeah.
Well, since there doesn't seem to be any questions, I guess the one question that I always want to ask is if you were to be giving advice to prospective international applicants, what do you think are kind of the key things that they need to focus on in their preparation and admission process to make sure that they're really successful?
Well, first of all, if they're in high school, just focus on getting good grades. Just remember that in the US, we evaluate all the high school grades, not only because we encounter a lot of times the students that think that maybe just the last year, it's the one that we consider. Actually, whenever we're making admissions decision, we see like the previous years before the senior year. So just keep that in mind, try to get the good grades and try to apply early. Don't need everything last minute because it's a long process. You know, it takes a while to evaluate your transcript. It takes a while to get an appointment in the embassy. So just make sure that you have everything that you, if you're considering multiple universities, just make sure that you check on their requirements, their test requirements, all the documentation that each one has, and make sure that you give them to them on time. That way, right now, for instance, I'm working with the students that have requested their information. They want to come in January and they just send it right now, and the embassy is about to close. It's in their country. So it's like, there's so much I can do without the student helping. So mainly just be on top of stuff. Just look out for scholarships that are available in each of the universities that you're considering. You'll be amazed of how many scholarships are out there, but students don't apply or don't look for them. So it's good that you are getting close to EducationUSA because I know they are a great resource to help the students provide with information about all of these things that are important for the admissions process. And if you're already in college and you want to transfer, it's a little bit easier for transfer students to come to the US, I think, because a lot of the universities don't require high school transfer, but college transcript. And just make sure that you submit your college transcript again, get good grades, just collect the descriptions on the classes you're taking. That way it's easier for the faculty to evaluate the courses to see if they're equivalent to the US or not.
And I'll just sort of add this, the fact that all of you who are participating in this, I just want to applaud you and say you're already thinking that this might be something you want to do, whether it be sooner or later. And that's really the most important thing. It does take a little bit of preparation and some effort, but if you're really interested, even if, and I'll tell you, because both Gina and I personally have done this as well, it's a little nervous, but it will be an incredible experience. It will change your life forever. And so I applaud you for even attending this, and certainly Liz for organizing it, because it should be the start. And what I would also invite you to do is, if there are some of you who have some follow-up questions about the University of Southern Indiana, probably Gina is going to be able to contact you, or you can contact her initially as well. So I just keep thinking about this as well, and certainly look at the website that we have, but just keep the idea in your mind. Because we don't have any snow here as well.
Well, thank you very much for those inspiring words and for sharing all the information you've had about the university and health professions and studying all of those different areas in the States. It's been very, very interesting. There don't seem to be any last moment questions on our end. So I guess on my side, I really want to thank you for taking the time to join us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Liz, for organizing it and inviting us to be part of it. It's our first webinar together, so it's been kind of we've done other projects together, but not a webinar. So it's our first. So and we're glad that we have a nice audience with questions. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
If you can please send me the student that was interested in the exchange program. If you can send me his information on the school that he attends, maybe I can find out. I will find out how to provide the information about how to do an exchange here.
That sounds fantastic. Thank you very much. We incredibly greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, and have a great day.
Okay.
You too.
Great.
Have a great night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.